story exploded upon the American scene, ignited the political fires. The controversy over the handling of the Soviet spy problem made national headlines. Specifically, the Harry Dexter White case and a Chicago speech by Attorney General Herbert BROWNELL, Jr., stating the last administration promoted White, notwithstanding derogatory FBI reports. As the daily chronology unfolded, highlights were recorded, too, on newsreel film for history's verdict. Here, excerpts from former President Truman's reply to the Attorney General.
He has made the Justice Department headquarters for political skullduggery. The Attorney General of the United States has not only degraded his office, he has deceived his chief as to what he proposed to do. And in saying Harry Dexter White was known to be a communist spy by the very people who appointed him, he lied to the American people. I first learned of the accusation against White early in February 1946, when an FBI report specifically discussing the activities of Harry Dexter White was brought to my attention. The February report was delivered to me by General Vaughn and was also brought to my personal attention by Secretary of State Burns. This report showed that serious accusations had been made against White, but it pointed out that it would be practically impossible to prove these charges with the evidence then at hand.
Washington. It was less than 24 hours later when the Internal Security Subcommittee, headed by Senator William E. Jenner, heard Attorney General BROWNELL's side of the case. The committee room was jam-packed, the public eager for more facts and assurance that none sought to attack the patriotism of government leaders.
An inference has been drawn in some quarters from my speech, which I think is unwarranted. By lifting certain sentences out of context, it has been said that I implied the possibility that the former President of the United States had been disloyal. I intended no such inference to be drawn. It is a blunt fact, from which there is no escape, that in the teeth of the November 8 warning from the FBI, the developing evidence indicated a substantial spy ring operating within the government and involving Harry Dexter White. And the documented report delivered to the White House on December 4, some 6 weeks later, President Truman on January 23, 1946, then publicly announced his nomination of Harry Dexter White for appointment to the International Monetary Fund. I just don't understand this. It still seems completely incredible to me.
In the wake of Mr. BROWNELL's testimony came an unprecedented appearance by J. Edgar Hoover, for 29 years director of the Federal Bureau of Investigation. The conflicting reports and dates in the White case prompted his taking the stand. Headlines blazed with his denial that the FBI approved White's promotion to the International Monetary Fund so as to keep him under surveillance.
7 communications went to the White House from the FBI bearing on espionage activities, wherein Harry Dexter White's name was specifically mentioned. At no time was the FBI party to an agreement to promote Harry Dexter White, and at no time did the FBI give its approval to such an agreement. Such an agreement on the part of the FBI would be inconceivable. If this principle were applied to White, it would of necessity have applied to others who had similarly been involved in this particular investigation and who were dismissed from government service when their subversive activities were discovered. It is clear that the FBI called to the attention of the appropriate authorities the facts as alleged by reliable sources, which were substantial in pointing to a security risk as they occurred. It is equally clear that the FBI did not depart from its traditional position of making no evaluation and was not a party to any agreement to keep White in public service. That concludes my statement.
And so the nation was given the issues. The Truman-Brownell debate was documented, and beyond the storm, only public opinion could write the final decision.